Hey everyone, it's Carissa at sprinkledwithglitter.com. Thanks for stopping by today. Today I am featuring the brand new Essentials by Ellen and Altenew United We Flourish stamp set. This is called Poppy Fields, and I love that it has both the large and smaller flower that layer up, but it also has the outline. So if you like to color, you can do that as well. So I'm starting with the most solid portion of these flower stamps or poppy stamps, and I'm inking them up and stamping them onto some Neenah Solar White cardstock. I'm using the Altenew Rouge ink for this, and it's a really beautiful color, and you're going to see how lovely it pairs up with the crimson as well. And I'm stamping 3 sets of these. Once I have the first layer stamped, I'm going to move on to the detail layer. And I am at first stamping these in orange cream on top of this rouge ink. And I thought it would be a really nice mix of colors. But when I got to the crimson ink that I stamped on the very last pair of flowers, I just thought I'd try something a little different. I thought it was beautiful. So I actually went back and I stamped all the other flowers that I hadn't stamped previously with the crimson ink instead. And this gave me a double stamped layering effect, and you're going to see the beautiful softness you get, because I didn't get it exactly right in the place where the orange cream ink was. I was a little bit offset, but it gives you more of a blurred effect instead of that stark contrast detail. And I'm going to hold it up so you can see the top one was only stamped with the crimson ink, and these were stamped with both. And I think that double stamping of that detail layer really makes it beautiful. So once I have my flowers stamped, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the centers of these flowers using the Altenew Pure Graphite ink. You can see I'm not worried about stamping these exactly in the right place. They look good no matter what you do. So once I get those stamped, I'm going to take the coordinating dies that come with the stamp set. It's actually a stamp and die set. And I'm going to die cut these out using my Big Shot. So now I have a few of the flowers here, and I want to stamp the stems. This stem is included in the stamp set as well. And I'm using frayed leaf ink from Altenew, and I'm just kind of putting those there so I know where I want my stems to end up. And I'm going to leave that top one there while I stamp the first stem. And you can see I'm kind of positioning the flowers back into place and then moving them out of the way to stamp the stems for those flowers. Once I have the stems stamped, I'm going to go ahead and start planning out my layout and putting foam adhesive on the back of all of these images. And you can see I'm actually creating 2 cards today. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere those down because I know that's exactly where I want them to end up. There's not much choice now that there's those stems stamped on the card front. So I'm just going to get those into place, and then I'm going to plan out my sentiment strip. I decided I kind of wanted my sentiment strips at an angle across the front of the card just to do something a little bit different. So I am stamping this I Admire You sentiment in that pure graphite ink onto this light gray cardstock from Altenew. And then I'm going to use some score tape. This is the 1/8 inch score tape, I believe. Yes, that is. No, maybe it's the 1/4 inch. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It just needs to be a strong adhesive on the back there. But I put the strong adhesive there because I'm going to adhere these strips of glitter cardstock to the back side. And you really need a strong adhesive when you're working with this glitter cardstock and you're adhering to the glitter side of the cardstock. So I got that onto both of the sentiment strips, and now I'm going to put foam adhesive on the back. And while I kind of ponder what I'm going to do, I decided to create my card bases. So once again, I'm using this light gray cardstock from Altenew. I'm scoring it down the center at 5.5. They're cut to 4.25 by 11. And then I'm reinforcing those fold lines using my Teflon bone folder. And then I was kind of playing around with some pattern paper on the edge. I didn't end up doing that, but I did know that I liked the way the sentiment strips were looking. So I went ahead and removed the backer from the foam adhesive and adhered those onto my card fronts. And then I took my scissors and just trimmed off the excess. When I'm creating a diagonal sentiment strip across the front of my card, I want to leave it extra long so I know that it will fit at whatever angle I choose. Now, I decided I wanted to cut these down so that they were a little bit smaller than the card front. And I thought another line of that gold glitter cardstock along the edge of this panel would look really beautiful. So once again, using that really strong adhesive to adhere the glitter just along the sides of this card front or card panel here. And that just gave it a little set off from the card base. It helped it, kind of separate it from the card base just a little bit. So once I get those into place, I'm going to go ahead and add some foam to the back of my card front. Then I'm going to add some tape runner adhesive to that and adhere the entire thing onto my card base. So I'm just putting that on there. You could use foam tape for this instead of the fun foam if you wanted. And in order to make sure I got it lined up along the top, I just went ahead and used my work surface to kind of line those up. So at this point, I was really feeling like these cards needed something else, but I didn't know what it was. And I tried adding sequins, and while I liked that, it wasn't the missing piece. So I went ahead and added some Wink of Stella to just the darker portions of these stamped images, so just that kind of detail layer. And I added some glossy accents to the center, and I still just wasn't completely happy with these cards. I felt like it needed something more. So I brought in some gold glitter cardstock. I brought in some pattern paper from Reverse Confetti, and I brought in some Rouge Cardstock from Altenew, and I cut them into various different diagonals and banner ends, and I'm going to create kind of like this little banner cluster. So I'm getting them positioned how I want them, and then I'm going to use my tiny attacher to staple them all together. That's going to add a little fun detail to my card as well. Then I cut that down, and I kind of tried it in a couple of different places, and I ended up really liking it coming out from the bottom of that sentiment strip. So I added a layer of foam adhesive behind that and then just kind of tucked it up underneath that sentiment strip, and I really felt like that was the finishing touch that these cards needed. So here's a look at the completed projects I created using the new Essentials by Ellen and Altenew United We Flourish stamp set. These stamp sets are available for a limited time in limited quantities, so if you are interested, I would head on over there and pick it up now. I will have links to the featured products in the description at YouTube, but if you head on over to my blog, you can see more still shots, more information, and a complete list of supplies over there. And you can see in these detail shots the really beautiful effect that you can achieve by double stamping that detail layer on your flowers. It kind of gives you a more blurred out and soft look to that layer there, and I really love the way that this turned out. As always, thanks for stopping by, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this project, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.